Usually when I go to a big cave like Ape Cave, I've seen a map before, so I know about how long it is, and I know what I'm in for. And I know if I'll be able to get to the end or if it's going to be too hard to get to the end. This one, I really had no idea what I was getting myself into. It was awesome. I don't remember if I got that on video or not. That was a while ago. I don't think I was shooting cave videos back then. I don't think I had that much battery life on my camera. The good old days. I mean, I remember there were when digital cameras first were able to shoot video, some of them, they would only shoot for like 30 seconds at a time. They were seriously limited. They wouldn't even try to go more than 30 seconds. So I was like, bought one of the first digital cameras that would go until the memory card filled up. And I think that was only like half an hour or something. And they were expensive back then, so I didn't even try buying a whole pile of memory cards. Of course, that was years ago. Everything I'm saying is obsolete now. This camera here, it's got a SD card, SDHC, whatever it's called. It's hundreds of gigabytes. I could shoot like 10 hours of video. I don't even have that much battery life. I only have 5 or 6 batteries for this thing. So yeah, on a good day, each battery lasts an hour and a half. But sometimes it's picky, it doesn't quite last that long. I think the last battery I used, oh geez, I don't even think it lasted 1 hour. I think it was about 45 minutes. Like right now, I've been shooting 28 minutes of video, and I'm down to 60% battery life already. So if it were to go all the way down to 0, yeah, that would be almost an hour and a half. But sometimes it dies when it's only like 10% left. So yeah, that's barely an hour long. But batteries, they're only like, I think, what, $20 each? So, you know, I spend that much money on gas getting out here. So as long as I'm going to spend that much money to get out here, I might as well, you know, do it right. Because what I really want is better flashlights. Good luck finding better flashlights. That's actually one reason I'm shooting with 2 flashlights at the same time right now. Because 1, I can tell it's being glitchy and flickering already. And 2, because that was twice as bright. And 3, by keeping them apart, I light the place up more evenly. Less shadows. What I really want to do is invent a camera, video camera, but not a rolling shutter, a regular shutter. And the flash would go off for every frame. So if you were to shoot 30 frames per second, then yeah, you'd literally take a flash every 30 seconds, so there'd be no motion blur. Of course, most people, that would bother their eyes if it was less than 100 flashes per second. So obviously the intention would be that the camera would be able to shoot all the way up to 120 frames per second. But the thing about that is, though, if you could do that with 2 cameras to shoot 3D, wow, that would be like the best 3D effect ever. So they do for something like Avatar, they project at 144 frames per second, but 3 in a row are the same. And that 144 frames per second, that's like for both eyes total, I think. So realistically, they only filmed it at 24 frames per second. So even in a high budget movie like Avatar, there's still motion blur and stuff. You know, for entertainment purposes, that's okay. But what I really want to do is come through here, get a video of the whole cave. It's picture perfect, no motion blur. So I can use that to make a 3D model of the cave. I've tried it, using videos to make a 3D model like this. Even if I shot at 60 frames per second, there's enough motion blur that the 3D model comes out pretty bad. I think the technology will improve. You know, there'll be ways to calculate out the motion blur and stuff. But, you know, that's not a substitute for actually getting good pictures or videos to begin with. Unfortunately, Nikon doesn't make an SLR that takes flash pictures at 120 frames per second. I don't know. You'd think the paparazzi would have something like that. Anyway. But yeah, the main thing about 120 flashes per second, I have a strobe light that'll do close to that. And well, the battery to power it, the light, and then the keeping it cool. I have a decent flash for my SLR, and once it gets hot, it only takes, because of overheating, it only takes like a picture every 30 seconds because it takes so dang long to cool down. And plus I think the battery life is only like a few hundred pictures. So at 120 frames per second, okay, well there's 5 seconds down the tube. So for studio work, they should definitely do something like that for studio work. Get rid of regular lighting and do strobe lighting instead. But the thing is, they got this weird rule they follow shooting movies, that whatever they do want some motion blur because it looks normal, it looks natural. So if they're shooting at 24 frames per second, they want each frame to be a 48th of a second. So even if they were going to shoot in high quality 3D, what is it, 144 frames per second, then each frame would still be a 288th of a second. So they don't even want to do what I'm telling you I want to do. So since I'm the only one who wants to do this, nobody else cares. That's one of the reasons why it doesn't really exist. Because, you know, if you're going to make something, you want to be able to sell it and make money, not just have it be, you know, a doorstop that nobody cares about. So here I am at my favorite part again, where the ceiling is bright white. See if I can pan up a little more, because you see it's not solid white, it's following certain patterns and stuff. In my opinion, it's very bright and shiny. Ooh, oops, stupid flashlight. I was holding my flashlight too far forward. Like I said, that's a hydrophobic bacteria. It's perfectly harmless to people, and people are harmless to it. But if you touch it, it takes forever to grow back. So it obviously, anything in here will have a very, very low metabolism. So yeah, it's better to leave it alone, because if you touch it, it's going to look ugly. That's what happened in Ape Cave. Ape Cave has that stuff all over the place. Really, really thick, all over the walls and the ceiling. So that's why Ape Cave is so bright and pretty. But because it's really, really wet in there. But the thing is, people touch it. They like use their finger to draw pictures or write their name. It takes years for it to grow back. So they now have a sign asking people, please do not touch the cave slime. It's sad that you have to explain that to people, but oh well. Hang on.